Hello gamers, welcome to the channel. And if you're not living under a rock, you may have heard balance patches has been announced. And good news, bad news, good news, we got some buffs for Dragon and Portals. Well, specifically Puppet Portal. On the other hand, bad news, Rune and Cresthaven are not hit. For some reason, but we will look on the optimistic side first. We will take a look at the buffs and we will evaluate how good they are. So, and I'll leave my personal thoughts for later because I'll be real, I'm not particularly happy with the changes. Well, at least I'm happy with the changes. I'm not happy with what they did not change. But let's quickly talk over what was changed. First up, Liu Feng being adjusted to 3 play points from 4. And the implications of this are pretty huge. A 1 play point decrease is actually makes this on pair with Dragon Sign. And if you don't know what Dragon Sign is, just gonna quickly show it to you. It's a 3 play point spell card that ramps. And now basically Liu Feng is the same cost. It doesn't ramp immediately, but if you play on turn 3, you could potentially just straight up use it to ramp on turn 4. While going second, of course. If you're going first, you never play on turn 3. Because it will die 99% of the time. And even though I did say you can play on turn 3, going second is still rather risky. And you will probably still be playing this on turn 4 regardless anyways. But however, I will say being put at 3 play points for Liu Feng allows you to going first specifically, because going second, I did mention other than a risky play, you still evolve it on turn 4 regardless and just mill the extra 1 play point. If you're going first, this actually has an extra synergy with another card now, fairly common card as you might see, which is called the Mecha Locker. Now you can play this alongside Liu Feng on 5 to actually have a more decent chance of fighting back on any given board state. One of which, the most prevalent being Zirconia. In the past, if your opponent Zirconia's on 4 and with you going first, you are basically kind of screwed. You cannot Liu Feng and ramp. However, now you could theoretically answer the Zirconia, but you'll still be facing a 4/4 worth of stats, which is bad, but it's not as bad as previously, which is they'll still be effectively left with 7/5 worth of 10/5 worth of stats actually, which is kind of stupid. But yes, that's definitely better. And well, I guess going second, you could combo with Ferocious Flame or Strike with the Dragon Nuke, but neither of which are really effective play before Overflow. But it is an option now. Other implications, especially for Liu Feng, especially being at 3, is turn 6 plays. Turn 6, now you can go Dragon Side or Liu Feng evolve into a second Liu Feng, which will evolve for free, ramping you twice in 1 turn while giving you, well, best case scenario, 2 evolve followers to trade in, or worst case scenario, 1 free evolve follower to trade in. That sounds like a good play, but in actuality, that is probably a really big tempo loss. In turn 6, if you're only summoning 2 followers with Rush, you probably aren't clearing out the opponent board. And turn 5 bots or turn 6 bots, especially, are some bots that you have to clear given at any given point in time. But let's just think about what cards you can play after ramping twice on turn 6, which we have right here. First of all, we have Twilight Dragon, 9 play point that just wipes the enemy board. This is rather good, but I don't think it's worth leaving up a dangerous board for 1 turn 4. On the other hand, however, we have Genesis, not Genesis Dragon, Azure Infrit, which might be worth getting out immediately on turn 7, having been a 7/8/10 actually. 8/10 is pretty nuts if you ask me, but you won't be maximizing his effect unless you already played Galmuse on turn 5, which is okay. It's like fine. To be fair, I don't even see Azure Infrit that often. He does see play every now and then when it comes more as of a surprise card rather than a good card per se. And honestly, I don't even know if people actively still run Azure Infrit in Dragon list nowadays, especially with the more optimized list ending the game with, I think, Gayu on the highest end, and which still skips Azure Infrit and goes straight into Genesis Dragon regardless anyways. Yeah, it's not even run in Fanny Dragon, which is really funny, but hey. But I will mention this though, turn 7 Genesis Dragon is now very much viable, with double ramp on 6. Like you just go in straight into turn 7, go in second, you can +1, you go 9 play +1 Genesis Dragon, immediately go Storm Phase for 12. Which is a possibility. Is that good? Not particularly, but it is definitely gonna be a lot. This might happen a lot more common now, especially with ramp being a lot less punishing on the tempo side. But yes, that's basically it for Liu Feng. Pretty good change, but I don't think it affects the slow list much. However, for more aggressive lists, this might, and more tight tempo lists, this will be definitely greatly appreciated. Funniest part is that even though since ramp is most played along with Fanny, even after Fanny, Liu Feng is still a 2 play point. So it's almost as though like she never changed at all, which is once again really funny. But yes, that's Liu Feng. But let's move on to the meat, which is Portals card, and specifically only Puppet Portal. No keyword, only Puppet Portal. But let's take a look at the cards first. First up, we have Liam being buffed to a 9 play point. This is huge. To be fair, the stats doesn't even matter. It could be a 6/6, it could be a 5/5. It really doesn't matter. What you want from Liam is his evolve ability, which gives all puppets on the field the ability to burn for 2. And that is basically all you want Liam for. And being at 9 makes him a lot less awkward, and alternate option for alternate curve for puppets, especially because in the past puppets are basically forced into a Orchis Liam curve. Whether they like it or not, they have to draw 2 Orchis to win the game, and or maybe Odin Orchis, which is probably the next best, which I will say is really strong for a certain period of time. Definitely, it was super strong in set 1, but it kind of died out during set 2 when mid-range starts getting better, and is definitely kind of really dead right now, when most people are pushing a lot of pressure by turn 7. So having Liam here gives alternate curve, which is basically Orchis into Liam. It could even be a Liam into Liam if you're desperate and you're going second, or even so we have basically just even more ways for puppets to fill up their upper curve, I would say, their late game. And I will say though, this also offers another interaction with enhanced puppet. In the past, if you only have advanced puppet in your hands with Liam, you can get maximum value out of Liam being only able to burn for 6 because you cannot play your extra puppet. But now you can, but provided you need to be at 10 play points naturally. But at that point in the game, if this is relevant, you will probably be winning by that point. So accelerating the puppet win condition a little bit, giving them a little bit more options, definitely not the worst thing ever, and I'm pretty sure a puppet will greatly appreciate this extra source of burn damage. And the fact that Liam only needs a normal evolve as well is pretty crazy. So it basically, the best case scenario I would assume, right, for Puppet Portal going forward will be would be Odin 7 evolve into Orchis Super Evolve into Liam normal evolve into another Orchis Super Evolve. Plus an additional card later on, you will see in a minute. But Liam definitely became better. Is it in a playable range? No, but it's definitely gonna feel a lot less bad to play. Now, most crazy change by far, I would say, is Puppet's Cat. Puppet Cat used to be a 2/2/2 do nothing effectively, and now it's been buffed to a 1/1 with Rush. So first of all, this is really strong, and the first reason why is because Puppet Portal does not have any good 1-drops. In fact, Portalcraft 1-drop is mainly artifact support. So giving a 1-drop to Puppet Portal allows them to fill up the early game, more control in the early game as well. Right now, Puppet Portal, I believe, is running Goblin to help fill up the early curve, and now Puppet Cat can very easily just slot in there. And not only that, Puppet Cat now is a lot less awkward to play around with Orchis. In the past, this is basically only active if you super evolve a Sylvia on 6. No, well, super evolve a Sylvia and you're on turn 8, which is like a turn you want to play Orchis and super evolve, rather than Sylvia and super evolve. And if you want to play along like super evolve Orchis, you need to be on turn 10, which is the turn you would rather just play a Liam, or actually just play Orchis into it with another enhanced puppet. That's like probably an easier way of reaching lethal. But now with Puppet Cat at 1 play point is a lot less awkward. You still can get it early though, unless, but it is still turn 7 for Sylvia, which is still a 4 attack puppet, which is really scary with the assistance of Orchis. And then you with turn 7 Sylvia into a turn 8 Orchis with a +4, and then you can even go into a turn 9 Orchis with another +4. Provided you can run the Puppet Cat into a follower, but this is Shadowverse. Everyone develops Spot at one point in time except for probably Spell Boost and Crest Haven, but everyone is bound to develop a port, so there should always be a follower for you to run Puppet Cat in. So extra 4 damage, increasing his damage potential from 8 to 12 is absolutely nuts. Basically now with 2 Orchis plus 1 Puppet Cat, you basically have guaranteed lethal in your hand, 20 damage provided your opponent doesn't heal or have too much wards. But even then, with the Bane given by Orchis, you can basically clear anything, all of it with a bunch of 0 play point puppets plus a bunch of 0 play point of puppets plus Orchis, obviously. So yes, a lot better. I would dare say even 3 times as good as before, and would probably be a 3-off in most specifically the puppet list going forward. And last but not least, we have Zwei, Symphonic Heart. No change to any of the her stats nor her cost, but she does gain an additional evolve ability to summon enhanced puppet. This is particularly good, not broken, but it's particularly good because this puts her on parity with I would say Unangria. I wouldn't say it's perfect parity, but it is pretty good. It is pretty close, I would say. They are rather on even ground now. In the past, Zwei was significantly worse, but now with this, right, she could be said to be an equivalent level. Some key interaction changes that this buff adds. In the past, Zwei would have been a detriment to play against Sharon. Zwei would not be able to clear Sharon. Sharon wouldn't also be able to clear Zwei, but like for puppets, it's more important for you to clear than be cleared, since well your board control is pretty strong anyways. But now Zwei can comfortably clear a Sharon board without any issue and still maintain 2 ward followers in the process. Note that you can still play other 0 play point puppets to give set up even more wards just to hide another 5/5 behind all of that, which is pretty nuts. Honestly, it's a pretty disgusting turn 5 play. But then again, this is still can still be quite easily answered. So wouldn't say it's particularly bad. It's improved by at least a factor of 1, but it's not a major change. So you will evolve it in certain matchups, but definitely not all the time. Just quickly off the top of my head, some matchups that I think you might want to evolve Zwei in, mostly sword matchups, especially if you're going first. This is pretty hard to clear unless they play Congregant and somehow manage to snipe both of your ward puppets. But even then, just play a couple more 0/1/1s with wards and you will be pretty safe. So board base decks, so let's see, Sword, maybe Abyss, Sword, Abyss, and probably Portal Mirrors. Yeah, Portal Mirrors as well. You could argue to evolve this, or maybe save your evolve for something else. So not bad changes overall. Giving Puppet a lot more board control. They're giving them more options to evolve. Although we all know they're gonna save it for Orchis and Liam regardless anyways. But hey, this is you definitely cannot hate having extra text. But that's the good. Will you make Puppet tier 1? Honestly, looking at this, no, I don't think so. but it's definitely gonna be a lot more competitive than before. A lot more burn damage, especially a 8 burn into a 12 burn is crazy, or even a 8 with like 2 Liams plus a Orchis or 2 Orchis plus 1 Liam. A lot of damage, but here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to start being a bit more personal and less objective about such buffs. So if you're here for the objective part, simply put, Yufen's buff is mediocre at best, is decent, but it doesn't matter much for normal gameplay. Puppet's buff is pretty nuts, it's actually insane. It gives them a lot of a better curve, smoother time to play. It's a lot less awkward for Puppet Portal to play around now, and so they will definitely see a resurgence post-patch. But once again, Spell Boost Rune, Crest Havens, the most problematic interaction in my opinion is not touched. Just so to be transparent with you, I think that Spell Boost and Crest Haven are balanced decks, provided except for one or maybe two of very unhealthy interactions. Well, in my opinion, very unhealthy. But if you play enough Shadowverse, you should know what I'm getting about. Well, on the spell boost side, I think the most unhealthy interaction is of course Declimb Cositus. I think Declimb Cositus has to be changed. And in this case it was not touched. But unfortunately, maybe that was a little bit optimistic asking for them to nerf a win condition. So maybe like changing Norman at the very least to hit his viability in play in spell boost a little bit to weaken up their heals would have been a good choice. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And for the Crest Haven side of things, as I said, I was not happy because I'm heavily biased against Haven, obviously, but I am not particularly happy with the fact that Maddening Benison interaction with how Crest works went untouched. Healing 10 for 2 is ridiculous value, like ridiculous amounts of value that shouldn't happen more than once a game, but this has not gone not basically gone under the radar in a way that is kind of maddening. Haha, get it? But this interaction was one of the ones I was hoping to change, especially the way they can just cheat the last damage crest. Well, not cheat it, but basically not pay the cost of playing this card and just reaping the benefits solely up to 3 times again, of course, which I think is pretty dumb. Okay, I can see this happening once a game. That would be okay. I would have accepted that. But like the fact that it can happen up to 3 times again is ridiculous. It's ridiculous and it's maddening that it wasn't changed at all. And it was really upsetting that they did not change these cards. Maybe they were hoping that with the resurgence of Puppet Portal and as well as Ram Dragon, the healings that these two classes have will not matter, considering that now Puppet has a lot more burn, particularly with, as I say, 8-12-8 plus William, but burn doesn't really matter if Crest Haven can just play 2 Maddening Benison and just negate all your damage while clearing all your board in the process. Or, I don't know, Spell Boost Rune just healing. To be fair, Spell Boost Rune healing 8 with Norman isn't bad. It's just that at the top end, they can just win with one turn with Astaroth. With Cositus, Astaroth, Super Evolve. That's like my biggest problem, to be honest. I'm not particularly pissed about Norman heals. Because Norman heal is one turn they spend not spell boosting, which means their declimb combo comes way later. And it just gives you more opportunity to quote-unquote kill him. In fact, rather than the heal, I feel like the barrier golems are a lot more problematic. But then again, not a lot of spell boost players play Norman for the wall golems anyways. They play it for the healing. It's also surprising that they have not touched anything on artifacts, which is also in a really bad spot. Fairy Forest, Pixie Forest is okay, but like what other card? Disdain Dragon is pretty awkward, where the only cards really played is Gaomiu as well. Well, actually no, I would say the goal is fine. The Congregant on the Congregant of Disdain isn't played, neither is Supplicant of Disdain, which is really weird. So that package in a weird spot. True Rune was also in a weird spot and wasn't touched. There's so many cards that warrant immediate attention, but I guess they decide to focus on Gramp and Puppets only while not touching any of the top decks. But which now that was the emotions talking. Now here's conspiracy talking. I've seen a couple of comments on maybe Reddit as well as a YouTube comment where they say, right, that Cygames buff specifically Liu Feng as well as the puppet cards, so they can sell these alt arts, which is these alternate cards, card arts for from the Battle Fest, so people can use the puppet alternate arts as well as the Dragon Sign, which is like a pretty crackhead theory. But given what happened in Shadowverse 1, I can see it happening. Basically, if for those that never played Shadowverse 1, hopefully I find a visual for this. But basically, in one of the last sets for Shadowverse 1, we got a leader. We have leader cards that we can pull from the gacha, which is from the packs. Basically, we can pull leaders from packs. And one of the leaders that we were given for the last one was Departed Soul Taker, which is in particular my waifu, and I love her. I played her when she was bad. She's a 9 playboy. They did buff her somewhere down the line to 8 pay point, but once they release her as a leader, they rework her completely into a way that absolutely broke Unlimited even till today. She became nuts. But basically, what the precedent this sets, right? The conspiracy is this: that Cygames are not buffing cards based on healthy metas, where if something interaction is problematic, they'll fix that. Like as I said, Madeline Benison's Crash interaction with the Crash Zone, which is probably intended, but happens way too often for it to be healthy. They are buffing cards to sell art, sell cosmetics, which feels like a conflict of interest. Doesn't feel like the way a card game should be working, where cosmetics decide what deck should be playable or unplayable. Like, that doesn't feel right. Which is why I say it was complete conspiracy at this point. But hey, Cygames, right? They probably have a grand vision of what they do. I say they're dumb. I say they are horrible at making card designs. But at the end of the day, it's their game, and I'm here to play it. So I'll just take this as face value. Puppet Portal is probably going to be tier 2. Liu Feng doesn't change anything for Dragon in the starters. And end of the day, we are still gonna be stuck with Crest Haven as well as Spell Boost Rune being one of the top few decks. Except now that Puppet Portals might actually be able to deal with Spell Boost Rune a little bit. Now that Puppet Portal is actually a pretty good counter against Spell Boost Rune, considering they do quite a fair bit of damage. With like now the new Orchis Liam combo, which is genuinely a lot more, way more than Spell Boost Rune can heal. Unless they devote like every bit of their resource into healing, in which case they definitely cannot answer your board. So yes, Puppet will definitely at least answer Spell Boost Rune's problems a little bit. But Crest Haven, I think the Maddening Benison interaction is here to stay for a while. So yes, that's it from me. Hope let me know your thoughts on the card balance changes in the description, in the comments down below. I hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you guys another time. Bye.